one. So the other day, a friend was pulled over by the police. The officer approached the car and said, of course, did you know that you were going 80 in a 50 zone? And the response was, I had no idea. And of course, the officer said, well, no problem. Sorry to disturb you. You didn't know what the rules were, so carry on your way. Of course, that didn't happen. Of course, my friend left with a ticket. So what does this have to do with human resources? Well, quite frankly, you need to be aware of the rules and regulation and legislation and the law. You can't plead ignorance. So there's been an amazing, dizzying array of changes to the employment legislation over the last several years, especially here in Ontario. What's been happening? We're not going to go through the list. It would take 4 hours. But a couple of quick snapshots. Bill 148 was put in place, then Bill 47, most recent legislation, sort of took care of a lot of the things that were brought in Bill 148 and got rid of them. Most obvious one, of course, minimum wage. It was scheduled to go up to $15 an hour. That was stopped in its tracks. It's at $14 an hour. Most of us know about that one, but there's some other ones you may not have a clue about. For example, there are changes to personal leave. There was a bunch of things brought in 148. Those have been repealed under Bill 47. There was also Bill 147 canceled a range of scheduling protections that were part of Bill 148. Those came into effect at the beginning of this year. It also eliminated the right to equal pay for part-time contract, temporary help agency workers relative to full-time workers. That's been gotten rid of. There's also a repeal to how holiday pay is calculated. A new provision was brought in 148. Bill 47 got rid of it. Another change. 148 had brought in the burden of proof on an employer to prove that a worker was in fact a contractor, not an employee. That's gone. That's going to be important to you small business owners out there, those of you that are managing a lot of contract workers. And finally, Bill 47 maintained a lot of the vacation entitlements. Not only did it touch the Employment Standard Act, it also impacted the Labor Relations Act. Getting rid of card-based certification in a number of industries, removed the provision where trade union can actually ask for an employee list if they get 20% of the people saying, yeah, we're interested in that, and a number of other provisions. So you're going to want to know about that. If you're federally regulated, think, oh, we're off the hook. No, you're not. Bill C-86 also brought in some changes at the federal level. So lots of noise in the marketplace. So here's our takeaway. Make sure you're reviewing your handbook. Make sure you're reviewing your policies. Make sure that those are aligned with the current legislation. Review those employment agreements, those policies, those handbooks out there. Make sure that those are accounting for all the changes that are in place, and there's a lot of them. And keep in mind, once you've provided something, it's hard to take it away, so you're going to want to balance that. Make sure your managers and supervisors are aware of all these changes. And if you're confused, and there's a very good chance you are, there's a lot of help out there. Give us a call. We've got people here that can support that. We also have a quick guideline that we can send to you to help you navigate through all these changes and make sure that you are compliant with the latest legislation.